Okay, so just like the last video on the flipper that I did, I have to re-record over another video. So the whole premise of this thing was I was trying to look for the Infinitime firmware. And basically as I was doing a search, I came across this other company that I hadn't noticed popping up in place of Infinitime as well. So you can see that we've got, let me just full screen that so we get proper. We've got Infinitime Online and the Infinitime firmware here. So at this moment, it's like, okay, what is going on here? I think this, like, my assumption was this company was basically stepping on the toes of the Infinitime firmware as, in essence, taking the name and running with the SEO. And so you can see I go through a couple different like SEO or search engine options. You've got Google, again, shows up here, but Infinitime takes over the firmware there. Brave and DuckDuckGo have the Infinitime Online as their first one. So start page, Infinitime Online. So they've optimized their SEO in a couple different places. This is what their website more or less looks like. It's basically the customer portal for a time management software for managers and companies to manage what their employees are doing. So you end up with a whole host of different features in it, but we're trying to look around for who's behind this. We've got Lone Wolf Software, DBA, Inception Technologies. So that's the company that we're running with. InceptionTechnologies.com is the other web link that we would look at. So we go through their blog to see, hey, is there anything that we can like pull off of to figure out location and things like that. So the blog doesn't quite work out for us. We've got nothing on the company itself too much down in the links below. And so this is kind of like, okay, so we've got no contact really information. This is a landing page for the Infinitime Online software. So we copy and paste Lone Wolf Software and we come across this link right here, Lone Wolf Technologies. It seems to check out a little bit. So we kind of roll through and their website looks very, very like late 90s, early 2000s still, which is kind of honestly pretty cool. But anyway, that's the less important part of it. So this website is updated as of 2023 as highlighted down below if I go back. So, hey, a little bit more. A little bit more, buddy. See right here, 2023. And so this whole video was ended up being a search for what the heck is going on here. So they basically have sold different like software here, obviously on CD. They go back all the way like Windows XP. So yeah, you get a whole time frame of how long they've been doing software for. And a bunch of the stuff that they've done under the name Lone Wolf. So if we're already on the lonewolfsoftware.com website, we can roll through here. So we go through and look for Inception Technologies. And this is where we kind of get a little bit more information on what's going on. So we've got some company links and some other stuff. So we can see that they've been around since 91. And it's what? Yeah. So they state their goal. They're based in Arizona, 91, Inception Technologies. Go to the link. So this is all part of like figuring out, okay, who are they? How long has Infinitime been around? This again links to, in essence, a landing page for their general company. Now we still don't have very many helpful links on like figuring out where they're at, but we do have Glendale, Arizona from gust.com. So let's see. Then we look for Infinitime online software. The next best thing that we've got is like going through their same web page. And so we can see 2020. Now, this is the earliest update that we have on that particular website dealing with Infinitime Online. Infinitime Mobile is kind of where we really find things paving the way for how long has it really been around for? So we go more about it, and we're at February 3rd, 2016. So now we're going to go back to Infinitime, the firmware, and we're going to look, okay, when was the earliest commit for Infinitime done? Okay, we're looking at release time of the Pinetime and the earliest commits on the Infinitime firmware. We're going back to 2019, and that's in December of 2019. So that means our timeline fixes such that, in essence, Infinitime was around before, Infinitime Online was around before the Pinetime was. Because if we go back to, I think I look for the Pinetime, or try to somewhere in here. Going off of the earliest ones. Let's see. I didn't really find a date. So 2019 was my earliest date that I found for the Pinetime, the Infinitime firmware. This is all datasheet stuff. So even if we go back to the oldest, again, we've got September of 2019 when the page is created for the Pinetime, which means that Infinitime was basically not around for too long. So, and let's actually, just for fun, do a secondary search. You can see that I've actually got a proper time up here. Where is it? Pinetime clothing. Come on. Give me a Wikipedia page. I'm just trying to find where a good dev kit. I remember them coming out with the dev kit a while ago. And that's how we get WASP OS and whatnot. Here we go. Okay, so Pine 64 is Pine Microsystems, Inc., Fremont, California. In 2015, the Pine A64. So if we go back to 2016, again, in 2019, Pine 64 announced it was working on a smartwatch. Pinetime has a resolution of 240 by 240. Company announced that it was working on wireless earbuds. But yeah, you can see that 2019 is our earliest date, basically, when they announced it. So yeah, back in September 2019, they create the wiki page, and it goes from there. So basically, the firmware was stepping on the toes of the management software when it comes to name and SEO. And that's basically the conclusion I came to. It was more the firmware not doing their research rather than the Infinitime online management software, which was my original conclusion was that, oh, the Infinitime management software is stepping on the toes of the Infinitime firmware. But after doing research like this, it's like, oh, my conclusion's different. And this is the way we should be doing things anyway. Is like doing deeper searching and research into something and trying to figure out, hey, how long has this really been around? And who got to it first and who stepped on what first? Because we see kind of the same deal happening where you kind of run into an issue where a corporation can decide, hey, you have a name that I want. I'm going to pick that name anyway, even though you have it first. And then I'm going to either A, litigate against you or push you out of that name so that I can have it because I want it. Which is kind of what my assumption may have gone to if it were Infinitime Online with the name first over the other. Because we see kind of that situation where Homeworld Cataclysm, which is now Homeworld Emergence, was renamed because Blizzard was like, hey, we want World of Warcraft Cataclysm, but they're going to get confused with Homeworld, so we have to tell Homeworld to change their name rather than us change our name and be creative. We're going to tell them to do it because we don't want to, and we're the bigger company and we can push people around. And so that's how sometimes things happen. But it may be a consideration to rebrand certain projects and things like that. But here we are. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.